Hi, and welcome to Lesson Overview 3, which talks about instructional modifications for a deaf, hearing impaired child. In this lesson, you will implement instructional modifications for the deaf, hearing impaired. The modifications can be used in the classroom or home environment. Depending on your child, you may want to place pictures with signs that are useful to communicate with your child in their safe environment. I've included a couple of different suggestions that can be used in the classroom and home environment. Our topics view includes the top 10 ASL words to use in the classroom, best practices for classroom setting, and the modifications to use in the classroom. So let's get started with the first part. In the first part of the lesson, we will discuss useful ASL words that can be used in the classroom/home environment. The typical ASL words to use in the classroom depends on the environment, grade level, and content. Usually children are in elementary when first encountering a hearing loss. This lesson is for beginners, and we will begin with the most basic useful words of ASL to use in the classroom. We teach the child by demonstrating and pointing to a picture of what the sign looks like for the following words: yes, no, stop, food, more, bathroom, please, thank you, and finish. You can print all the words together in one poster or individually at different parts of the classroom. For example, the bathroom sign can go by the bathroom, or finished can be a place marker where all the completed work can go. The needs for the basic 10 ASL words depend on the teacher and the environment. I've also included a video on a different classroom teacher and what signs that he says benefits his classroom. The top 10 signs he uses are similar to the poster: yes, no, stop, sorry, thank you, doesn't matter, restroom, help, sick, hurt, thirsty, wait, hungry, and water. The typical useful words in your home environment also depends on how the parent interacts with the child. In my home, we use a lot of food signs such as pizza, egg, hamburger, fries, eat, drink, utility signs such as toilet, shower, paper, and family signs such as mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, I love you, book, read, dog, and cat. In this slide, we have a brief review of what one teacher uses in his classroom that is helpful for his students. Let's go ahead and start.
So today I thought I would do the top 10 sign languages that you should use in your classroom. That way I can at least give you some information even though I'm not teaching a whole lot of lessons, and then hopefully that's something that's helpful. So I use sign language in my classroom because A, it cuts down on behavior problems because I can tell the kids across the room what I need them to do. B, it helps with communication when my kids need something when I'm teaching or when I'm at my teacher table or things like that. So overall, it is a wonderful opportunity to use sign language. It helps make connections to their brain because your hands, I tell my kids, your hands are connected to your brain. So using sign language helps with behavior and it helps make those connections. So I'm going to give you the first 10 signs that you should teach, and then I'll do another video in the future of the second 10 signs, the third 10 signs. Hopefully I can teach you guys some sign language to add to your classroom. All right, so I'm going to go through the 10 signs. I wrote all this down. I'm going to go through the 10 signs that you need to start your year with if you want to start using sign language. Okay, number 1 and number 2, super easy. Yes, your head, yes. Number 2, no. So, yes, no. You got to know those so when kids ask you questions, you can answer from across the room. Yes, no. Number 3, stop. Stop. So it's a very aggressive, down the hand, and I talk to my kids about if I do this in somebody's face, then I'm yelling in sign language. So stop, it's a good one. Number 4, hand closed, rub your heart. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So this is very important, teaching our kids those manners. So if someone tells them to stop, they need to say, I'm sorry. Next one, thank you. So hand on the chin right here, thank you. Next one, this is one of my favorites. So hands right here, you rub them back and forth like this, hit them back and forth. Doesn't matter. So my kids, I teach them that so that if someone does something that's rude and they can ignore them, they just say, doesn't matter. All right, next up we've got restroom. So cross your fingers. A little shake is I need to use the restroom. Hand up, big shake is an emergency restroom. And so then again, now that I know yes or no, I can tell them, yes, you may use the restroom, or no, you may not. Next up we have help. So this is a person right here, and this is a helper. Help, help, help. And 2 more. We've got I'm sick, so middle finger on your head, middle finger on your stomach, sick, sick. So again, my kids can be sitting on the carpet and look at me while I'm teaching and go, I'm not feeling good, I'm sick. Next up, we have hurt. So 2 fingers touch each other like this, and you rotate them back and forth. I'm hurt. So again, if they need a Band-Aid, if I'm teaching at my big group and they're at their small group working, they can look at me and go, and they're telling me that I need a Band-Aid, and then I can tell my nurse, who's in my room, one of my kids' job is to be a nurse, they can give them a Band-Aid. And then thirsty, 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 and then one more, so thirsty or water. And so again, if they want to drink, they can look at me and say water or thirsty, and I can say yes or no. And I'm going to add one more, so we're going to do 11. Wait. So my answers usually are yes, no, or wait. And then the last one is make a U with your hand from your throat, hungry. I'm hungry, hungry.
Okay, great. So now we're going to move on. Our next topic is setting up the classroom environment for your students. What would work best? When setting up your classroom, keep in mind that children do best when you set up tables, chairs, and equipment, and etc. I've included side by side of 2 possible classroom setup teachers can use in the classroom. On the left is the optimal classroom setup. You can see the chairs are formed in a U shape around the screen. The teacher's desk is facing the children to keep an eye on them. The eyes of deaf children are what is their communication to the world and being understood. The children must have full accessibility to all academic subject interaction with all peers of all inclusion. The U shape allows the children to have contact with peers and teachers. They are able to see facial expressions, lips, allowing them to fully engage in classroom participation and see others' reactions. If you see on the right, it's a possible classroom arrangement. The arrangement has a U shape as well and is directed around the teacher desk and rug. The circle rug can be used in having a lesson close to the teacher is clearly visible. It's important to note that the circular desk located throughout the classroom for optimal visual contacts with teacher and peers. The classroom has a computer in the classroom that can be used to look for signs to use in the classroom to communicate effectively. It is recommended that the computer desk face the classroom, preferably in the corner, so that the deaf students can see their peers and teacher. This allows the students to be aware of the surrounding. In both classroom scenarios, I would recommend using a location to place resources for all the children to discover ASL signs. This allows the students to connect with deaf students. This separate area can also represent a quiet area that can be allocated for time to focus on their work. The next topic is modifications in the classroom. For your hearing impaired child, depends on the ability to function around the classroom. Some students require an adaptive device that is like a hearing aid that wraps around the ear, and the teacher speaks through an external device around their neck, which is amplified in the child's hearing aid. Students will benefit from extra time on assignments, closed caption when showing videos, sitting close to the teacher for the instruction, live voice reader, personal FM system, specialized seating arrangements, reduce auditory distractions, reduce visual distractions, clearly enunciate speech, flashing fire alarm, and the use of many visual supplements, projected materials such as whiteboards, charts, vocabulary lists, lecture outlines. Although you are able to use all these modifications listed, they may not be suitable for all children. I recommend knowing your child and determine what best modification will make your child successful. And lastly, summary. In this lesson, you discovered many options to benefit your child in the classroom and home environment. The beginning steps of learning ASL can be stressful, but this lesson has broken into 3 different sections that can leverage your child's ability to communicate with their peers and teachers. Thank you.